Will U.S. President Donald Trump be banned from using Twitter? Well, no, he won't. We'll tell you why he won't, and also why a bunch of idiots right now are calling for his banning, as it is right now one of the most discussed topics on Reddit, with the subline reading here: Twitter urged to suspend Trump after president accused of sharing propaganda and hate speech over Omar attacks. Trump posted a video showing Democratic Representative Ilhan Omar intercut with footage of 9/11. And, yeah, they have absolutely lost their minds. And it is worrying seeing so many people actually take this idea seriously. But before we get into that, don't forget to support us by checking out our t-shirt store on teesprings.com/stores/we-are-changed. And since this is Jason Burmes's day off, we still have the Dreamy Burmy pillow available because you guys have been purchasing it. But regardless of that, check out all their stuff that you guys can purchase and support real independent media at the same time. Now, let's get to this story right now, which of course there's a huge discussion on Reddit about, with over 52,000 upvotes, linking of course to this Newsweek article, which reads the same headline that I read to you before, with the article being censored how this push is being done by the Women's March, who is the one urging people to put pressure on Twitter, as well as starting a petition to, of course, have the social media platform, along with Facebook, ban U.S. President Donald Trump, which I believe is absolutely absurd, stupid, and asinine. We're talking about a public utility. We're talking about the importance of being able to communicate with one another with no other platform available as powerful as Twitter and Facebook out there. I would want to know what the president is saying. In this new digital day and age, it is impossible to know what someone is saying or isn't saying, is believing, is not believing, is speaking, is able to hear anyone if they are not on one of these big tech monopolies. And essentially, when they are censored off of these big tech monopolies, they are almost unequivocally unpersoned, censored, and their voice and their free speech is limited, if not absolutely shut down. And let's be honest here, this has been a favorite tactic of a lot of people who believe in the nanny state, a lot of statists, particularly on the left, who are going to big platforms and saying, do our bidding, please censor these bad voices that trigger our emotions and hurt our feelings and destroy them from the internet to make sure that they don't exist at all. And of course, big monopoly corporations who have interests with other large corporations, with other governments, are saying, sure, we'll gladly censor some political voices that you don't like and set a very dangerous precedent, which will include the power and ability to be able to show you what is good for you, you nice little peasant. Believe in the technocratic monopoly overlord God and savior as they treat them to be. Again, I'm being hyperbolic here, but there does deserve something to be said about how time and time again big tech monopoly companies have been complying and censoring people on the behests of people's feelings, when of course it is also very politically connected, as well as connected to some of the larger corporate interest and government interest that of course these tech monopolies have with the censorship, which they abide by and are more than happy to do. And the particular tweet that the Women's March wants Donald Trump banned from Facebook and Twitter because of is of course this tweet, where he interlaced video footage of Ilhan Omar saying something happened when talking about 9/11 with, of course, graphic footage of 9/11. Of course, sensational stretching, yes, you could say that, whatever, but regardless of that, a lot of other people on Twitter and Facebook have been banned for a lot less. People, particularly, sometimes on the right, but also people on the anti-establishment, people like the anti-media, the Free Thought Project, and a lot of people who are out there calling out the bigger bullcrap and don't play into this left-right divide and conquer scheme agendas. They have essentially already shut down many independent voices with algorithm changes by the big tech monopolies that ultimately screw over independent creators and favored, of course, the corporate media, which they call authoritative voices. And of course, the authoritative voices, they're the ones who brought us the banker bailout, the wars. They always lie, a part of bigger corporate interest, which of course the big tech monopolies are learning their ways of and complying in the same general direction. This is what is happening here. This is severe. This is important. And these supposed triggered Women's March people calling for the banning of people that they disagree with ultimately either don't see the bigger problems that they are establishing in our society, where already people on the left are being censored, and they're totally stupid and ignorant of the fact that the same boot that they asked for will be stomping on their face, or they are knowingly aware of that and want to placate to the side for a bigger power play because they are so desperate to get a win politically that they're willing to get rid of any moral, righteous thing to do here and, of course, create a worse situation which they think somehow will work in their favor later down the line, which, again, it won't. But again, these are the two prevalent beliefs between the major people calling for the censorship of others online. Now, this Women's March, of course, that has put out this larger call has been embroiled in, of course, accusations of anti-Semitism. And, of course, also has a controversial co-founder, Linda Sarsour, who, of course, was a part of this email calling for this petition to ban Donald Trump. And, of course, she is now claiming that this incitement of violence against a black Muslim sitting member of Congress is putting her life at risk. Again, just hyperbolic, dribble, emotional nonsense meant, of course, to play on your emotions, to manipulate you, to be like, whoa, Donald Trump's attacking this poor person. Now they're getting death. No, every person of prominence gets death threats. I get death threats. Everyone on the internet gets death threats. It's not something new. Okay, the internet is a crazy place where, of course, crazy things happen. And to assume and to play this victim card here, and to, of course, try to get you to do the right thing to them and to censor more speech is just absolutely stupid and akin leading us down the road to 1984 if we're not there already in our basic society where people are getting banned for far less. And when they do, they are non-personed. They are deleted down the memory hole, creating a corporate establishment snitch system like the Chinese have with their government and, of course, the social credit rating system. Now, let's get into some of the bigger topics here because Twitter did officially respond in 2018 of September saying that Trump, quote, is not exempt from actually being banned from the platform, with even the legal chief coming out saying that under the right circumstances, Donald Trump could be banned here. But of course, they will not do this because then Donald Trump, who has been extremely silent on the way of, about online censorship and a lot of his core base and a lot of his core supporters being eviscerated and deleted and banned from a lot of these major platforms. He's been oddly quiet about that. If Donald Trump would get banned, then I would believe Donald Trump would do something which, of course, Twitter would never want. They don't want any regulations. They don't want to be recognized as the public utility that they are. And of course, the burden of responsibility is very vast and large on their shoulders. And I believe they are definitely not handling it properly. But with more eyesights on this banning, this of course will lead to a bigger discussion of breaking up or regulating this online platform, which again could lead down a different pathway of also just more horrible decisions later down the line. Some people also estimate that Donald Trump using Twitter boasts a $2 billion stock value to, of course, the company, which also would be incentivized not to ban him. But regardless of what's happening right now with Ilhan Omar and Donald Trump and the verbal kind of diarrhea, the mouth crap that's coming out from what I believe, in my opinion, both sides about a non-issue, it does bring a different perspective here to consider because Donald Trump has previously threatened nuclear warfare, and it does directly violate the terms and services of Twitter, especially when you're talking about nuking, killing, eviscerating a whole bunch of people. And this does leave some kind of a conundrum here for the big tech giant and how they move forward. But ultimately, I don't see this conundrum being fixed anytime soon. With even Donald Trump tweeting before, my Twitter has become so powerful that I can actually make my enemies tell the truth. This was a tweet, by the way, in 2012. There's a significant power here. There is a significant authority here. How do we leverage it when it's in private hands, when it's being manipulated, when it's being used for political purposes, not only by Donald Trump, but more effectively by Twitter itself, banning people that they do not like or people who are anti-establishment or go against the status quo? That is the real issue. That should be the bigger discussion that should be had here, not whether people should have access to speech or not in what is actually a public utility, what is actually now a town hall of all the people and impossible to live without if you are in the public sphere. So yeah, that is my take on it. What do you think could be the possible solution in all of this? What do you think we could do? How do we think we could move forward in a way that's constructive and it's not abused with this huge authority and power that has been laid in front of us that we still don't know how to handle? What's the answer? I don't know. I just know how to call out the bullcrap, and there's a lot of bullcrap. And if you appreciate the bullcrap being called out, subscribe. Stay tuned for more, and support us by getting a Dreamy Burmy pillow or a t-shirt at our Teespring store and sustain our independent media organization. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.